Hey, happy Wednesday to you. Just pulled over because I've been wrestling with a thought that I just kind of need to share and get out. A couple of days ago, I was having a conversation with a good buddy of mine named Jeff. And in the midst of our conversation, he used the phrase, "Isn't it just great to be wanted?" And I've loved that phrase. It just kind of stuck with me. And was having some drinks with a couple of buddies of mine, and we asked ourselves, how do you do that? How do you make people feel wanted? And so I've come up with three, and if I miss any, you can tell me where I'm missing or where I'm short, and throw a comment below. But I've come up with three things. In order for people to feel wanted, we need to tell them, we need to affirm them, and then we need to know them. So how many times do we actually tell people that they are wanted, that we're glad that they're there? How many times do we stop them in the office and say, "I'm really thankful that you are on our staff"? Do we stop them in the halls and say, "I'm so glad that you're here"? For some reason, we get away from this very easy yet very direct acknowledgement, purposefully looking at somebody, not in a generic email, but a very purposeful, "I'm so glad that you're here." So that's number one, tell people directly. Number two is to, so tell them, affirm them. Why are you thankful that they are here? I've often thought that one of the reasons why criticism is so much more painful than the positives, that we say that it takes three or more positives to outweigh criticism. Well, criticisms tend to be very specific, whereas affirmation tends to be very generic, right? Your shirt is ugly, you don't know how to read, or you did a terrible job in this math problem, or whatever. And the generic of, you're just a nice person, you're a kind person, she's a good leader, whatever, those don't stick. The criticisms are very specific, so they stick. And so I wanted to affirm my staff and my students that this very specific thing that you bring to our staff, this very specific thing that you bring to our culture, this is what I'm thankful for. So that's number two, affirm them. So tell them, affirm them specifically. And then number three is to know them. When you know somebody, when you know their family, when you know their hearts and their desires, you want to know somebody, listen to what they talk about. And so when they talk about whatever they talk about, I do a terrible job of kind of glossing it over, or yeah, because I'm thinking of the next problem to solve, or the next classroom I got to get to, or whatever. But being very intentional about listening to what they're talking about, because that's who they are. And then addressing it, asking about it, coming back to it. When we feel known, we feel wanted, because you don't know a lot about something or somebody that you don't like, which, as a side note, is probably why we don't like that person, right? Because if we don't like them, we don't know a lot about them, and so we fill in a lot of the gaps of understanding, and oftentimes we fill them in with negative or not great things. So if you want people to feel wanted, I think I'm going to work hard. This is my goal for the year. I'm going to work on telling them directly, "I'm thankful that you're here." Why, specifically, affirming them in their role and their uniqueness and their identity in our school. And then number three, being very intentional at getting to know them, who they are, their makeup, their passion, their desires, those kinds of things. Anyways, let me know if I missed anything. Have a great day. Do great things. See ya.